They are called proponents of mind-only school, mind-only and proponents of cognition. Because they propound that all phenomena of the mere entity of the mind. Also because they settle the particle and the practice of deeds of the path from the yogic point of view, they are also called yogic practitioners. From yesterday's, from where we left yesterday, about as to how to reflect on things to be mere mind only. I think on top of what we already said, I think very important thing that we need to keep in mind, and whatever you do, whether you are involved in your, so practice would be a little bit different. So in practice, whatever practice you do, say if you reflect on the mind-only view, that's one thing. Otherwise, still you need to be really focused on, whatever object of practice that you're doing. So whereas, say, you are, going for a meal, or you are simply doing your work, or say you are walking in, you are taking a walk. So in all these, activities, simply keep this in mind, that after all, whether or not there is something external over there, what I take as things over there is nothing but, my own perspective, my own view, my own, what is perceived, my own perception. Last time we dealt quite in detail about that part, right? As to how there are 8 different perspectives or, perceptions, right? And then which is right and which is wrong. But when you look at the object, say you're taking a walk, you look at the object and the object seems so real, external over there, nothing to do with my mind. But in true sense, then ask the second question, am I right? Right? Am I right? So I say I'm right, but are you really right? Because they say if there are 100 people, there are going to be 100, perceptions, 100 different perceptions. So everyone will say that things that one is right. Then how can it, when I see it, I see as something so real over there as just one path. And if all these 100 people are right, there should be 100 different paths. Again, this is not, this is not feasible. So you try to ask this question to you, as often as possible. If that happens, then gradually over time, your very old habit grasping at things to be so solid externally there will be questioned then, in your own mind, it'll happen. And then gradually your trust in your perception will become ungrounded, will become slowly groundless, right? So this is how these reflections can help us undo our bad habit of relying, on our own perceptions. So this is really very important. And then on the basis of that, then you try to do, once that starts working, you see that, oh, my perception is not something 100% reliable. When something is working there, then you try to ask more things, then who is right, who is wrong, right? Of all these 1,000 people, who is right and who is wrong? So everyone has his own perception, right? And then on the basis of one's own perception, one has been working. And many times we were mistaken, but many times we were correct. Say this afternoon we ate something, and now we are relaxed. But if we didn't, eat something, then by now you'll be hungry. So this means that we were not mistaken. From that point, we rely on a perception, and accordingly it worked. So, it's not that my perceptions are always wrong. It's not that my perceptions are always right, right? So this means how to reconcile. So just like myself, everyone else's perception is same, right? If that is the case, then there are 1,000 different perceptions. And how can you reconcile that all these are right? So the best thing would be, to say that, I have my own perception. This is without any doubt. There's no doubt. I have my own perception. Everyone has his or her own perception. And we work on the basis of one's own perception. Again, this is also doubtless, without any doubt, right? So now, what is the problem? Is that whether or not what I'm seeing is exactly what is over there, that truly represents the reality over there, right? So this is the issue. So then you try to work on this side more, that no doubt I'm working on the basis of the perception, whether it represents the reality or my own reality, right? My own reality in my own realm of the dream, or the reality over there externally, right? So irrespective of that, still within my own dream, within my own the domain of my own dream, my own perception, I'm working and I'm quite successful. It's all right. So this means that there is no need for me to argue against others that what I see is correct and what you see is wrong. You try to denigrate all the remaining 999 people's perception and say then mine one is right. So there is no point in saying that. Simply trust, simply work on the basis of your perception, that's it. And let others work on the basis of their own perception, right? So this means that each one of us is working on the basis of one's own perception and not at all dealing with something real over there. So this means that in true sense, what is the point in discussing about something, whether or not something exists over there? It's all because of our very strongly ingrained bad habit of, trusting your perception to be representing the reality, the truth or the reality over there. But in true sense, we simply work on the basis of our own perceptions. That's it. And we create our own world, and you create your own world. Every one of us creates our own world, and we work in it, in this world. That's it. This is the reality. So you try to give more thought to it. That after all, what I'm doing in the world that I create by my mind, by my perception. That's it. And then if you try to think more and more in this direction, then keep on asking again whether what I'm seeing truly reflects the reality, the same thing. And then, the other side will become more and more loose, So this is how it can work. Okay. Okay, so in this relation, so here look. So, okay, I think this is quite important to share with you. Actually, in the practice of Mahamudra, particularly practiced by Kagyu tradition, Mahamudras, there's what we said right now has a great bearings on Mahamudra practice. So the essence of Mahamudra, of course, what I'm trying to say really cannot represent the entire picture of Mahamudra, but to some extent, the essence of Mahamudra is that all the perceptions, everything that you see around, everything that you deal with, everything that you interact with, they are nothing but the reflection of my own mind. Number one. So now you reduce everything in your own mind. Number one. Number two, into what you are going to reduce this mind? You have been successful in reducing everything in your mind, because we come to know that after all, we are working, our interactions, they're all based on one's own perception, right? On the basis of this perception, we interact, we deal with the world. So we reduced everything, all these things that you see around, into one's own mind, into one's own perception, number one. So then now the next point. where are you going to reduce this mind into? You have reduced everything into the mind, and what are you going to reduce this mind into? Into what? So then it says that even this mind, and this mind is lacking any elaboration and is of the nature of truth body. Is lacking any elaboration and is the nature of truth body. Meaning that even this mind, so at this point we come to know that there is no solid external reality. Everything is mere reflection, mere radiance of one's own mind. And then here at this point, we might have a grasping at this mind that's so solid. Then it says that even this mind lacks any elaborations of or any form. In short, what it's saying is that even this mind is lacking the quality of pointability, quality of findability. It is not pointable. Even that mind, has that nature, is lacking the nature of pointability or findability. It is not findable, it's not pointable. It is also, mentally imputed. So now you see that, everything is just reduced to this mind, and this mind is reduced into emptiness. And this is the great Mahamudra. Okay, so this is really very important. So the kind of, the discussions that we have been doing in the series of classes, although it may seem like, intellectual kind of games, but this is not. It's very, very important equipment for one to get into these subtle experiences. Very, very important, very, very important. And if you keep on studying these texts, then gradually you'll come to know that the kind of experience that, that one is, having is something very clear, very clear-cut, crystal clear, It's just the opposite of very hazy kind of, as though like you are meditating, you are practicing for such many years, and then in terms of the actual experience is hazy. Something is there, but hazy, not like that. Very clear, So once you experience it, once you gain some kind of understanding, then whether or not you continue with that, you boost it, you nurture it, is entirely up to oneself. So, but still, this is the incredibly precious equipment to have a clear picture of the view. So this is really very important, and I wish that, so by seeing your enthusiasm, I also feel so kind of really important, right? So hopefully, because of our joint effort, you will soon get to understand something, of these things. Not simply just the understanding on the level of calculations, like, 2 + 2 = 4, and so forth, something over there and nothing to do with you. It's not like that. It must be translated, and the translation is something automatic. It'll come to you. Okay. So once the first translation happens, then to keep it alive in the form of, in the form of experience, entirely depends on oneself, individual. Okay. Next, I think before we go with the, okay, first let's do a little bit of this text, and then we'll deal with questions. Assertions of tenets. This section has 3 parts. They are assertions on the basis, parts, and fruits. Assertions on the basis. This section has 2 parts. Assertions regarding objects and assertions regarding object possessors. Now you are already very familiar with all these topics, First, objects regarding assertions regarding objects. The proponents of mind only assert that all objects of knowledge are included in 3 characters. What are they? Imputed nature, the other powered nature, and thoroughly established nature. So let's see the kind of translation that this translator used. This is because they assert that all compounded phenomena are other powered characters or natures, right? All compounded referring to all impermanent phenomena. Impermanent phenomena and compounded phenomena, they are synonyms. Okay. And then that the real natures of all phenomena, referring to ultimate reality, emptiness, are thoroughly established characters or natures, number 2. And that all other objects of knowledge are imputational characters. Now look, so the author here has done it so skillfully. So because we are quite familiar with the other powered phenomena, the impermanent phenomena. So he said that impermanent phenomena or compounded phenomena, they belong to what? The other powered phenomena. These two are synonyms, number 1. And all the ultimate realities, emptinesses, they belong to what? Thoroughly established phenomena. So the rest of the objects of the remaining phenomena, they fall, not necessarily phenomena, the remaining everything, the remaining everything that comes to your mind, other than these two, fall in the category of imputed character, imputed nature. So just quick, let's give example. Each of us give an example of the remaining part. Quick. I'll do the first.
The imputational.
Sorry?
The imputational.
So instead of saying imputational, as the author did, we exclude all compounded phenomena. We exclude all ultimate realities. So anything remaining out of that. So I'll do the first. The elephant in this house. Otherwise, you might say it first. Next. Quick.
The giraffe in the sky.
I see. So you're also becoming a good typical as I am, Else? Sorry? The rabbit horn? Good. Good.
The snow on the roof.
What?
The snow that is on the roof.
I see. So we are all fond of non-existent things. Something existent. Now 3 left. Remember the same year?
Something existent.
Yeah. And imputed.
Because I was looking at what you said yesterday.
Yeah.
And you said something about phenomena.
Good.
That's non-existent.
Yeah. No, phenomena.
Imputed, no, persons.
Phenomena and yet imputed. Phenomena, yet imputed. Quick.
Yes.
Sorry? Difference. Good. Yes, the similars. Similarities. The uncompounded space. Right? And then what else? Uncompounded space. Nirvana.
Cessations?
Yeah, cessations, yeah, nirvana. Yeah, they all fall in this category. Okay, now next. They assert that the 3 natures exist in their own right and exist inherently, meaning that, all these 3 natures, they exist inherently, exist from their own side, right? Okay, any questions to this?
Yes.
Are we all happy?
No.
You're not happy, what?
I don't understand that at all.
So because all these three natures, imputed nature, other powered nature, they exist inherently. So that is from Chittamata's point of view. From Chittamata's point of view, existence and inherent existence, these two are synonyms. For Chittamata, existence, inherent existence, they are synonyms for Chittamata, right? Okay. So these 3 natures, they all inherently exist because they exist. You agree?
Other power is inherently existent.
Yeah.
So things that are that impermanent phenomena is inherently existent, exists from its own side, even though it rises due to causes and conditions.
Yes, yes. So now don't try to mix with prasangikas, you know. So for prasangikas, This is the problem. So you should know, this is why, we need to understand the different tenets so well. So if you understand the different tenets so well, then you will start asking questions. Why not that if something exists, causally, why not if something is causally produced, it should be independent, inherently existent? So far we have been learning that, if it's causally produced, it should be lacking inherent existence. This is what we have learned, So now, if you learn the different tenet systems, for example, all other schools other than Prasangika, existence and inherent existence, these two are synonymous. Existence, inherent existence, objective existence, intrinsic existence, they are all synonymous.
Is that because of the mind basis of all that they hold to? That's what...
Quite right. Yeah, quite right. Say when you see a table, do you see that as just something like, elephant that you are imputing? It's right there. It's right there. It's not something, imputed by a thought. This is the kind of appearance you have of the table. So this is what is known as inherent existence. Existence from its own side, from where it appears. So this is inherent existence, objective existence, intrinsic existence, right? So whereas from Prasangika point of view, there's nothing exists from the object side, nothing. Again here, we need to make distinction between from the object side and from the external side. Chittamatras would say that there's nothing existing from the external side, right? But things do exist from the object side.
Created by the mind.
Mental extension.
Mental extension.
Yeah.
And that's the other powered nature of phenomena, is the mind is the other powered?
Not necessarily. Other powered here referring to all impermanent phenomena, and why they are called other powered is because they come into being through the power of their respective causes and conditions. So other here referring to the causes and conditions, right? So if you simply think of the mind as the other, then even the imputed phenomena, they also come through mind, but they are not other powered.
But isn't it changing now also? It's coming from, it has come into existence from these causes and conditions. And
Yes.
it's still changing.
Exactly.
So how is it inherently existent?
Okay, now look. So I don't know, you could be exception, from many thousand years of habituation, I don't know. Otherwise, so this is the flaw. This is a flaw. We are so used to, studying about the Prasangika tenet, you're so used to it that, if something is changing, then how can it inherently exist? So here, instead of, here you're not really getting what inherently really means. Because even mind-only school says that, the table undergoes momentary changes, and yet it is not just mind-only school. Even the Svatantrika Madhyamika, thinks that everything exists inherently. So inherent should not be understood as, permanently existing thing. You are reading that, that word in the light of that permanent, solid, static. No, this is a very gross level of existence. Inherent is a very subtle level of existence. Inherent has the connotation which is, independent of the mere imputational thought, the mere imputational thought. So because from the point of view of all other schools other than Prasangika, there's nothing existing by mere thought, by mere imputation. There's something more than that. So something existing existing not by the power of mere thought is what is known as inherent existence. So for example, impermanent, the moment-to-moment changing phenomena, you know. So from the lower school's point of view, although the table is undergoing momentary changes, for example, ourselves, we change momentarily, but still we don't exist merely by means of imputing thought. It's not simply through mere thought, you know. So because it is not simply through mere thought, it is what is referred to as inherent existence. So you should be able to understand, you know, each of these words, you know, the real meaning. Don't try to misinterpret that, you know, to something grosser. Okay, so now it says that they assert that the three natures exist in their own right and exist inherently. You agree with this or not? Okay, my question is, you know, what about the elephant in this house? Does it exist inherently? No, but it is one of these three natures.
Mental imputation.
Yeah.
So they're saying that it does.
Yeah. So look, now this is, you know, how we should be able to, this is, you know, this is where we need to be so precise in, you know, understanding. So what it is saying is that the three natures, it's not saying that all three natures, right? Three natures. Imputed nature, does it exist or not? Imputed nature, does it exist?
Yes.
Yes, it does exist. Because imputed nature doesn't necessarily connote those non-existent phenomena. Within that, there are non-existence as well as existence, you know. So the imputed nature by itself exists. Imputed nature exists. And other powered phenomena, no doubt it exists. And thoroughly established phenomena also exist. So three of them exist. So since they're existent, they should be inherently existent, right? So it doesn't mean that each of the specifics of these three natures, you know, should be existent. It doesn't mean that, right? So we say human beings are good. It doesn't mean that all human beings are good. You know, when we say human beings are good, human beings can think. It doesn't mean that all human beings can think. Some they are in coma, right? So similarly, when we say these three natures exist inherently, you know, don't simply think of the specific instances of these three. Simply think of these three in general, right? Okay.
Is that what they mean, Geshe, when they say in their own right?
In their own right, yeah.
Is that the generality?
Exactly, yeah. However, there are differences with regard to whether the natures truly exist or not. Now look, these three natures, you know, these three natures, they share one thing in common. That is, these three natures exist. Not only that they exist inherently. Now, you know, uncommon characteristic. The author is pointing to here. However, there are differences with regard to whether the natures truly exist or not, because some of the natures truly exist and others do not truly exist. So what are they? Out of these three, which exists truly and which exists not truly? Good. Good. Imputed nature does not exist truly. So here, when we say imputed nature does not exist truly, all imputed natures, anything that falls in this category, imputed nature, necessarily, you know, is lacking true existence. And whereas the other two, what are they? Other powered and thoroughly established phenomena, they exist as truly. This is one important thing that we need to keep in mind.
So the definition of then truly existent is?
Okay, good. Something which is not imputed. Something which is not imputed. And I don't know if among the questions that you have, I asked you to note down, there is one very important question in relation to the question that is asked right now. I asked, so, how come the thoroughly established phenomena exist truly? Is it there?
It doesn't follow the rules of cause and effect,
And yet,
it's also not an ultimate reality.
sorry?
The mental imputation doesn't follow the rules of cause and effect, but is also not an ultimate reality.
Yes, but this is not the question.
Oh, okay.
There's another question. Why the ultimate reality, the emptiness, while not follow the rules of cause and effect,
And it's not
is not imputed? You have this?
Yeah.
Okay, this is quite a serious question. But again, for that, we need to be prepared for it. We should first prepare. We need to accept the preparation. Okay, so for the timing, let's say, what did I say? True existence is something which is not imputed. Whose existence is not by means of imputation. This is what is known as true existence. Say, this is, again, it's not something philosophical kind of jargon. Say, what would you say? I'm seeing an elephant in this house. Then what will you say? Oh, shall we all run away? And you will say, no. Oh, because there is a big elephant here. And you will say, no, I can see it. Then what will you say? It's not true. Why it's not true? Because it's your mental imputation. It's your mental creation. So this is, everyday language. So simply understand that. Try to bring them, to the everyday language understanding. Don't try to simply philosophize unnecessarily. It'll be extra burden on you, Okay, so we say, true existence is something which is not mentally imputed. So what about the elephant in this house? True existent or what? Not truly existent. Why? It is mental imputation. It's mentally imputed. What about the uncompounded space? Yeah. So actually, uncompounded space is what we are here to do. So we have been doing more of this. The difference, the difference between the cup and the paper. So is there something seen over there, which is undergoing change by itself? No, it's not there. But it does exist. Then how does it exist? If it's not something put over there, it's through one's own mental imputation, mental thought. It's the mind who connects the two objects and says that these two are not same. This is what is known as difference. It's the mind does it. It's not something over there, right? Okay, so for the time being, let us put it this way. And there is something more important to go on, where we need to then, go with more challenging points. Okay, let's see what next. Okay. Thoroughly established. However, there are differences. We're done with that. However, there are differences with regard to whether the natures truly exist or not, because the proponents might assert that imputational natures do not truly exist, and that both other powered natures and thoroughly established natures are truly established. Okay? So the other powered nature, for example, the table, does it belong to the other powered or thoroughly established or imputational nature? Other powered. Is it not imputational nature? Yeah, be confident. What is it? It's not imputational phenomena, imputational nature?
No.
It is, because it is lacking inherent nature.
No.
It is not lacking inherent nature.
All the three natures have inherent existence.
So everything which exists, should be lacking inherent nature.
No.
Everything is of the nature of the emptiness of inherent nature. This is what we have learned so far. This is the ultimate emptiness according to Prasangika, the ultimate emptiness according to Buddha. Good, yeah. So don't mix. Okay, good. Okay. Now look, the table, the table. Is it something solid over there, or, simply coming in your mind? It's something solid over there, right? So, something solid over there is what is known as, the true existence. Something which need not, be imputed by a thought for its existence. It's something over there, right over there, real, right? Okay. Now, what about emptiness? The absence of external reality, the emptiness. Of course, this is the very topic, the emptiness of external reality in itself is quite obscure for the time being, So whatever is the case, still we try the emptiness, ultimate reality according to Chittamatra. This is not something like table that you can see as real, How can you say that it is truly existent? The table and other powered phenomena, no doubt, is really, something that we can accept. Or the other powered phenomena, something pointable over there. Something real, it really exists over there. Although it's not external, but something really existent. Table, it has its own shape, color, and so forth. But then what about emptiness? So we said that, the difference between the cup and the paper, this is what our mind imputes, because there's not something over there. We cannot point to as the difference, So similar is the case with the emptiness of external reality. We cannot say that, I have the emptiness of reality here, external reality in my hand. We're going to say that, and yet we say that the emptiness is truly existent. So how is it? Any idea?
You say that it's that when you think that they're separate,
Yeah.
but they're not. So if you keep thinking that,
Okay, I know this is challenging. I know this.
I'll tell you what you told us.
Uh-huh.
That is thoroughly established, and by definition, that means firm in its nature and reliable.
Yeah.
That asserts, or that's you're asking about whether it's truly existent or not, because it's thoroughly established means that it does exist because it has been proven, it is reliable.
So why should it be truly existent?
Because it exists.
Or then what about the other power, the imputation phenomena?
That doesn't truly exist.
It exists.
Inherently.
It exists inherently. Yeah. So therefore, doesn't it entail that anything which is existent should necessarily exist as truly?
No.
No. So why then the thoroughly established phenomena should exist as truly? So the reason that you have given, because it exists, is not the proper premise. Yeah. So anyone?
Are we talking about the lack of separation between
The subject and object.
subject and object?
Good. Yeah. So why is this? Why is this truly existent?
Because there is no separation.
So why? Why if there is no separation should it exist truly? Oh, okay. Okay, so this is challenging. So still, keep that in your note. It seems like we are not too prepared for this right now. Keep that in your note. Don't erase it. Don't delete. Okay. So now, let's go further to see if if there is some materials there to prepare us more. Because the proponents of mind only assert that imputational natures do not truly exist, and that both other powered natures and thoroughly established natures are truly established. The definition of, and one thing, look, while we try to really understand the concept, we also make sure that what is said there remains, in your brain. What is said there. Like, out of these three natures, the first, although both three natures exist inherently, but the first does not exist truly, and the second and third exist truly. So they must be well printed in your brain, well printed, right? Okay, this is really very important. Okay, so next, the definition of an imputational nature is that which does not ultimately exist, but exists for a conceptual consciousness, right? So here, if you find it a little bit, again, hazy with it does not exist ultimately, simply focus on the second part, that exists for a conceptual consciousness, you know, which simply comes into being by the power of the conceptualization, you know, conceptualization, and not something pointable as, you know, from its own, 100% from its own side, as opposed to mental imputation. So say, you know, the easiest one would be, you know, the elephant in this house. This is purely what your mind creates, is what your mind imputes. So because of this, it is imputational nature. And then likewise, the difference between the cup and the paper, you know, this is also not something you can point to over there, you know. This is what your mind connects the two, you know, brings the two objects, and then say that, oh, these two are not just one. These two exist, but these two are not one. This is what is called as difference. You know, this is how our mind works, and then this difference comes into being. So something which comes into being by mental imputation is lacking, you know, existence from its own side, totally existent by means of mental imputation. These are the imputational nature. When divided, imputational natures are of two types: enumerated or existent imputational natures, and imputational natures whose character is nihil or nahil. Okay, so this is easy. Imputational nature can be of two kinds: one which is existent and one non-existent. As simple as that, you know. One existent and the other non-existent. And the non-existence, just think of anything which is non-existent and you can put in this group. Non-existent, you know, imputational nature, right? Which is also known as the imputational nature whose character is nihil, right? One. And then in the existent group of the imputational nature, what can you put? What can you think of? Object of knowledge, one, good. Uncompounded space. Cessation, good. And then what difference? Similarities, single, isolates. Yeah, all these things, good. Yeah. So, okay, they all belong, you know, they all go in this category.
Now, is elephant in the room is in the non-existent?
Yes.
Although it is inherently existent.
No, it's not inherently existent.
I thought it said that all three natures.
So this is what I said. All three natures
are inherently existent.
All three natures exist inherently. This is all the clarification that I've given you. All three natures exist inherently, meaning simply instead of saying, you know, pointing to the specifics,
Oh, I got it.
simply go to the generals.
Got it.
You know, these three natures in general. The imputational nature, does it exist? You say yes. You know, instead of saying, you know, the elephant in this house, does it exist? No. This is imputational nature. It doesn't matter. But the imputational nature, you know, by itself exists.
Okay.
Imputational nature in general exists. So this is what I mean when I say they exist inherently.
So you can't use elephant in the room anymore, Geshe.
Why? Because, you know, look,
It's not existent.
we should, so the idea is that imputational nature is of two kinds: existent and non-existence, right? Okay, so for non-existence, you can come up with anything that comes in your mind which is non-existent, and this will fall in the category of the imputational nature whose character is nihil, right? Which means non-existent natures. And then the other one is the enumerated imputational nature, referring to all imputational natures which do exist. Okay. An example of an existent imputational nature is object of knowledge. Examples of non-existent imputational natures are the two selves. Two selves referring to the self-sufficient, what is that? Self-sufficient substantial nature. Self-sufficient substantial person, person, or let's put it this way, the opposite of the two selflessnesses, the opposite of the selflessness of persons and the opposite of the selflessness of phenomena. What is the opposite of selflessness of persons? Self-sufficient, substantial person, right? This is the opposite of selflessness of person. Selflessness of person, does it exist? Selflessness of persons, does it exist? Yes. This is this is what you are to meditate if you want to become, achieve nirvana. So this does exist. So the opposite does not exist. So what is the opposite of that? That is the self-sufficient substantial person, So that is non-existent. That belongs to the non-existent imputational nature. And what about the self, or the self of the opposite of the selflessness of phenomena? I want you to be careful. The selflessness of phenomena, according to Chittamatra. So this is ultimate reality, selflessness of phenomena. So first tell me, what is the selflessness of phenomena according to Chittamatra? Emptiness of external reality. Emptiness of external reality is the selflessness of phenomena. Now, what is the opposite of emptiness of external reality? External reality. External reality is the opposite of the emptiness of external reality. So, the two selves, the self of person and the self of phenomena. Self of person we already did, the autonomous substantial, self-sufficient substantial person is the self of persons. This is one non-existent imputational nature. And the self of phenomena, what is that? What is the opposite of selflessness of phenomena? So tell me first. First tell me what is the opposite, or what is the selflessness of phenomena?
The emptiness of
Exactly, the emptiness of external reality. So what is the opposite of emptiness of external reality?
external reality.
Good. What is the opposite of selflessness of phenomena? Yes, exactly. Be confident. The same thing, When I ask you, what is the opposite of selflessness of phenomena, or what is the opposite of the emptiness of external reality? These are the same. Because emptiness of external reality simply means the selflessness of phenomena, right? So, in both cases, the opposite is what?
Whatever the external phenomena.
External phenomena, external reality, external existence, external reality, external phenomena. So this is the self of phenomena, right? Now, what is the self of person? Self of person, does it exist?
No,
What is that?
non-existent does.
It is non-existent, but if you are to say, if you are to point to, what would you point to? Meaning, so what would you understand by the self of person?
This self-sufficient.
Exactly, self-sufficient substantial person, right? And then what is this, the self of phenomena?
The external reality.
Exactly, right? So these two, external reality, does it exist?
No, it's not existent.
It's non-existent. I know your mind is working so slowly. I know.
All in language.
Yeah. Okay. So, So these two, the self of person and the self of phenomena, these two are the examples of non-existent imputational natures, right? Okay, and also the elephant in this house. 146. The definition of an other power's nature is that which arises in dependence upon the power of others, that is, causes and conditions, right? So in future, once you see something very explicitly stated in a text, authoritative text, not a text composed by me, a text which is really authoritative, like the text which we are studying. Once you see that so explicitly stated, always try to stick yourself, to what is said there, rather than create your own understanding. Like say, other-powered, or other-powered. So here, the other, does it mean they mind? Or does it mean something else? Don't try to go, to something else. So what is this other thing? What is that here? The definition of an other power's nature is that which arises in dependence upon the power of others. That is, what is that other? That is, causes and conditions. Very clearly stated, right? Right. And which is a base of a thoroughly established nature and emptiness. Which is a base of a thoroughly established nature, right? So why is it considered, look, this is quite important thing. It's not just according to Chittamatras, but according to Chittamatra and Madhyamikas as well. When you speak about emptiness, always somehow you try to connect it, ultimately you try to connect it with other powered phenomena, with something impermanent phenomena. Because of all phenomena that exist in this world, in this universe, what truly exists is something tangible, like the mind and, the forms. Then on the basis of this form, for example, the table, the table is something there, that in front of us. So this is other powered phenomena. And then we examine whether or not this table exists as it appears to us. Or no, it appears to us as external. And by all reasons, we see that the table does not exist externally. So here, the table is the basis of a discussion. And the external reality is what it appears to us. And this is non-existent, right? The external reality. So this is the imputational nature. And then you come to know that this table is not actually having this nature of externality. It is emptiness, it is empty of external reality. So the table, being empty of external reality, is the thoroughly established nature, is the emptiness is the ultimate reality of the table. So on the basis of the table, then we speak about the imputational nature, we also speak about the thoroughly established nature, right? So similarly, we speak about ourselves. We examine ourselves. So you are the other powered nature, because you are the impermanent phenomena, and you are the powered nature because you come into being by dependence through the power of your previous causes and conditions. So therefore you are the powered. Now, the self appears as though like yourself appears as though like you exist, externally. Something so well defined external reality. It appears like that, right? So does that, do I truly exist the way I appear so external? Then no. So this external thing does not exist. So something which is non-existent, the external nature associated with me is the imputational nature of me. And the emptiness of that external nature of me is the thoroughly established nature of me. So you can extend this to everything else. That's all? Okay. First one is challenging. So let's all help, work together. And the second one, third one, you have to, be self-sufficient.
So use an object, okay. A chala.
Sorry?
A chala.
The cat.
The cat.
The cat. Okay, so the cat.
The cat is other powered?
Okay, it's the other powered, the first nature, the other powered nature.
Well, the mental imputation.
Yeah. I will give you one example and you come up with your own example.
Okay.
My example would be the permanent nature of the cat. Does it exist?
No.
It does not exist. So this is imputation nature of the cat.
Okay.
One.
Okay.
So another example.
Okay, so mental imputation of cat, a child to speak English.
Oh, good. This is also imputational. Yeah.
And
So then you have to come to the ultimate reality, thoroughly established here.
which is the selflessness of this cat, which is the emptiness of
External reality
of
of the cat. Good. You got it. Now others, no exception. Quick. Yes.
Venerable Semke
Venerable Semke, yeah.
is underpowered.
Good.
She is, her nature of being able to fly is imputed,
Okay, very good.
and she's a thoroughly established phenomena lacking external reality.
Okay. Good. Very good. Very good. Next. Pillow.
Being underpowered, the imputed nature is the green pillow,
What's the what pillow?
the green,
Green.
the color is the imputed.
It's imputed. Why?
Right there, it's green.
It's right there. It's impermanent.
Focus, baby, is not like that.
Sorry.
That was yesterday.
The pillow is not powered. The pillow being externally existent is imputed. The absence of the pillow lacking or pillow being empty of external reality is thoroughly established phenomena. Good. Yes.
So the meditation hall is overpowered.
Good.
Permanent nature of the building is imputed,
Good.
and the clearly established is the emptiness of the external
Reality
reality
of this hall.
of this hall.
Good. Dallas.
Okay. This pen
Good.
is underpowered.
Good.
The imputed nature is that it writes in gold ink,
Oh, good.
and the thoroughly established aspect of it is that the pen lacks external reality.
Good is the imputed nature, right? Okay, good. Now look, you all come up with all different imputational natures. Oh, Kevin.
I didn't want
Oh,
I was just going to let it go.
this watch is what?
Is the externally,
Is the other powered.
powered.
Good.
And the watch that says the time out loud is the imputed nature.
Wonderful.
And the thoroughly established nature is the emptiness of external reality of the watch.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So all of you came up with all different imputational natures, right? So, of all the different imputation natures, what we require in the analysis of, ultimate reality in Chittamatra is the external reality. Because they say this hall, what do you say? What is the imputation nature of this hall? Being permanent. This hall being permanent, this is the imputation nature. But if you know that, this hall does not exist as permanent, it doesn't help us understand the ultimate thoroughly established phenomena, And then Dallas said the pen's ability to write in gold ink. This is imputation nature. But when you know that, this pen doesn't write in gold ink, it doesn't help us understand emptiness, ultimate reality, So, whereas if you say this table is the other powered, and the external reality of this table is the imputational nature, and the emptiness of this external reality is the ultimate reality, thoroughly established. So, Out of all different, say for example the table being made of gold, this is also one imputation nature. The table being permanent is also one imputed nature. And then what? This table being yellow is also, you know, imputation nature. And what did you say?
Flying.
Oh yeah, the table flying out, you know, is also imputation nature, right? So you can think of thousands and millions of such imputation natures. Out of these, what is useful to us to understand the ultimate reality is the external reality, right? The table existing as the external reality. So this is what is relevant here. Out of millions of imputation natures that we can think of in association with the table, what is so relevant, what is required to us is the external reality. Right? Okay, now each one of us, you know, when talking about the imputation, when citing the imputational of nature, you think of the external reality rather than something else. But others are not wrong. They're right, but they become irrelevant to us in understanding the ultimate reality. Okay, again, each one of us quickly. So I'll start. My watch, you know, the external reality of my watch is the imputation nature of my watch. Next.
Gotami has. The
What?
mental imputation of the building is the
Yeah.
external reality of the
Good. The building's external reality is the imputation nature of the building. Next. Anyone? Quick.
Curtain.
The curtains, yeah. The curtain existing externally is the imputation nature of the curtain. Tell us.
The glass case is
Glass-
the external reality, the imputational nature of the glass case.
Good.
The singing bowl is the external reality, and the singing bowl is the imputational nature.
Good. Kevin.
The stupa is the external nature of the imputational
Nature of stupa.
nature of the stupa.
Good.
Pearls, the external existence of pearls is the
I see. The room existing externally is the imputation nature of the room. Good. Chuki?
Can I say the same way?
Yeah.
Even though it's associated with mind, it doesn't matter?
What?
It doesn't matter if psychosomatic doesn't matter if something is associated with mind, or
No, it doesn't matter.
it's still, it
Yeah.
doesn't exist externally.
Yeah.
And the external existence doesn't matter.
I see. The external existence. External existence?
The existence of the thing in my leg which doesn't depend on what I can see with my mind. Can I say that?
Oh. Any opinion?
External reality
Yeah.
is a pain, an external reality.
The painting?
Pain in her leg.
The pain, I see. Oh, this is, yeah, okay, this connects me. Okay, leave this, this is good. So this connects us to, you know, another important topic. Very good. Okay, thank you. So first let's go further. Now look, the definition of other powered nature is that which arises in dependence upon a power of others, that is causes and conditions, and which is the base of a thoroughly established nature. So what I've been trying to, you know, tell you so far is that we try to associate all these three natures, you know, with the other powered objects, right? So on the basis of the other powered, the table as the other powered nature, we speak about the thoroughly established nature of the table, right? So the emptiness of the table can be spoken of in relation to the table. Emptiness of the, the absence of external reality of the cup is spoken of in relation to the cup. So every time we associate the thoroughly established nature to connect that to are other powered phenomena. So then last time we discussed about this. Then what about the thoroughly established nature of the difference between the cup and the paper? The difference between the cup and the paper, is it other powered? It's not.
No.
This is imputational. It is imputational. But we can speak about the thoroughly established, nature of the difference between the cup and the paper. Because everything that exists should necessarily have its ultimate realities. Right? So, and here it says that, this other powered nature, which is the base of the thoroughly established nature, which means that all thoroughly established nature should necessarily be associated with the other powered phenomena. So for the time being, for convenience sake, we say the uncompounded space. It is imputed, right? What about the ultimate reality of uncompounded space? Is that based on other powered nature?
No.
What is it based on?
Mental imputation.
Yeah, mental imputation, which is the uncompounded space, right? So, but it says that here in the text, it says that that which is a base, which referring to the other powered nature, is a base of a thoroughly established nature. So for every thoroughly established nature, the base must be, one of the other powered natures. So what is the other powered nature as the base for the ultimate thoroughly established nature of the uncompounded space? So last time I told you, uncompounded space is also of the nature of the mind, because everything is of the nature of the mind, right? So when you speak about the emptiness nature of the table, you're also speaking about the emptiness nature of the mind to which the table is perceived, right? Because these two are just the same thing, these two appear as though like separate because of our ignorance. These are just similarly uncompounded space and the mind which perceives the uncompounded space. These two are again the same thing, So the emptiness of the uncompounded space can also be understood in the context of the emptiness of the mind perceiving the uncompounded space. So the mind perceiving the uncompounded space is other powered or not? Yeah. So every thoroughly established phenomena should necessarily be based on other powered nature. Because everything that you can think of should necessarily have a mind which perceives it. And these two are of the same nature. Right? Okay.
So, yes, so just for clarification, yesterday you said the mind is the other powered nature of permanent phenomena.
Exactly.
So
The mind perceiving the other powered phenomena. Yeah, let's be more precise.
The mind that is perceiving the permanent phenomena is other powered. Therefore, the permanent phenomena is also other powered.
It's called as the other powered.
It's called.
Yeah. Next we carry on. When divided, the other powered nature, when divided, there are two types of other powered natures, pure and impure. Pure other powered natures are, for instance, the wisdom of superiors subsequent to meditative equipoise, and the major and minor marks of a Buddha. These undefiled and the pure states of the minds and the qualities of the Buddha. Impure other powered natures are, for instance, the mental and the physical aggregates that are appropriated through contaminated actions and afflictive emotions. Our body and our minds, which are afflicted, the mental and physical aggregates, take your minds and physical aggregates that are appropriated through appropriated means we acquire this contaminated body and the contaminated mind because of our previous karma, the karma, the appropriating. Appropriate means possess, to possess. Through contaminated actions and afflictive emotions. The definition of a thoroughly established nature is the suchness, or the ultimate reality, that is an emptiness of either of the two selves, a self of persons or of phenomena. Now look, this is, you mark it, and there are two different opinions. There are two different ways. In the monastic universities, one group, accepts this, whereas the other group, to which I belong, doesn't accept it. Say, to which I belong, it simply accepts this one. The suchness, that is an emptiness of, emptiness of the self of person. Self of phenomena, not the self of person. Emptiness of self of person, or the selflessness of persons, is not considered as the thoroughly established phenomena. And whereas it is only the selflessness of phenomena, the emptiness of external reality, taken as the thoroughly established nature. So there are two different views, right? Yeah, Chittamatra, yeah. Chittamatra, but, the different monastic universities, they have different views. Okay. So one says that my position is right, and the other says that, his is right. So let's see. Okay, so this is, and now to really delve into it, as to why do we say, why one group of monastic universities say that both the emptinesses of the two selves, are the thoroughly established phenomena. Why do they say that? And why the other group, says that it is only the selflessness of phenomena which is the thoroughly established nature, and not the selflessness of persons, Okay, so they have their own reasons. Okay. Now look, when divided, this thoroughly established nature, when divided, there are two types of thoroughly, I think, to give you just a brief idea as to, why these two groups, they have their different opinions. Number one, the other group, to which this author belongs to, they think, they simply cite, I think, one sutra. They simply, sutra, not necessarily sutra. I think one of the Indian commentaries, where it says that, the thoroughly established nature constitutes the two. And then they interpret these two as the selflessness of phenomena and the selflessness of persons. And whereas, whereas the school to which, the monastic university to which I belong it says that, out of the two, it is only the one which is cited. So, there are two codes. There are, two statements from two different sources. So one says that out of the two, referring to out of the two selflessnesses, only one is cited. Only one is cited. So, the monastic university to which I belong, it reads that, only one is cited as the thoroughly established nature. This is how, the monastic university to which I belong interprets. So, one thing. And I personally, I would say, this is my personal view. It may not necessarily reflect the reality. I would say, it's not a matter of myself trying to be biased, but I think, positing only the selflessness of phenomena is more relevant as for this thoroughly established nature, because it's not just simply saying that, there's a controversy, there's, argument, so let's put both in this group, It's not like that, because once you put that, again, there are many other complications. For example, one of the most complicated issue is the issue about, the truly existent nature. So we said that, so according to the university, according to the group to which I belong, says that the selflessness of persons belong to which of the three natures? imputational nature, you know. So anything which belongs to the imputational nature should be lacking true existence, you know. And whereas the other group which which classify this self-existence of persons in the thoroughly established phenomena, they should say that it exists truly. So you should be able to explain, you know. So now it's not just a matter of, saying, oh, where you want to put it. You have to also account. After putting in one of these three groups, you have to also account whether it is truly existent or non-truly existent. And, from my perspective, it's my personal view that, if you put that in the thoroughly established phenomena, then it is very difficult to account for that to be existing truly. So because, we have to be able to, first of all, explain as to how this thoroughly established phenomena should be existing truly. Because we said that all, other permanent phenomena, all other permanent phenomena other than emptiness, they belong to the imputed nature. So why this emptiness exceptional? Why is this exceptional? Why do we say that this is the truly existent? Why all the rest of the permanent phenomena, they are lacking true existence? Why? So you must have a coherent, convincing, response to this. And I think, according to my own interpretation or according to my explanation of how this, the thoroughly established nature exists truly, according to that, the self-existence of a person is not qualified. So it should be put aside as non-truly existent, which means it will naturally fall in the category of imputational nature, So for this, we need to, first of all, do this analysis, resolve this question, which is one of the 7 or 8 questions that we have. Why the ultimate nature, the emptiness, is qualified as while not following the rules of laws and cause and effect, it is still posited as the true, true existence, truly existent, and not as imputational. Why? So this we need to deal. When we deal that, and then it's up to you, to see to yourself whether it makes sense or whether it doesn't make sense, right? Okay. This I think is quite important. In this relation, again, is my own speculation. This is quite a serious issue because, if you come to know as to how the ultimate reality, emptiness, is truly existent, on the basis of that, if you can account it well, then your understanding of the ultimate reality will become so precise. This is my speculation. So therefore, I consider this is a very important issue. It's not just a debate between 2 monastic universities, but real, to gain a very profound understanding of the ultimate reality according to Chittamatra. Okay, so we have 7 more minutes. I want to read a little bit more. When divided, again, the thoroughly established nature. When divided, there are 2 types of thoroughly established natures, non-perverse and immutable. An example of first is the superior wisdom during non-perverse, number 1, and the other one is immutable, number 2. An example of the first, the non-perverse thoroughly established nature, is the superior wisdom during meditative equipoise. An example of the second is the real nature of phenomena. Okay, this is a little bit not complicated, but language-wise, it's a little bit complicated. So, say, what is the example given for the non-perverse? Superior wisdom during meditative equipoise. Superior wisdom during meditative equipoise. Is this mind or not? Is mind. Is this other powered or not? Yes. Is other powered, right? So how come it is put under the category of, thoroughly established natures? Okay, this is question. Now look, don't panic. This is not, this is not something dangerous topic. This is very easy, very easy. So it's simply a play of words, Say, some of the people, their names, they have the name Buddha. Are they real Buddhas? No, but when you say Buddha, he'll come, right? He's not real Buddha, but we call him a Buddha. So similarly, this wisdom, superior wisdom during meditative equipoise is called by this vocabulary, the non-perverse, thoroughly established nature. Actually, it's not thoroughly established nature. It is like, a person, a sentient being, a person, ordinary person called as a Buddha. It's not a real thoroughly established nature, Okay, so because this superior wisdom during meditative equipoise, so when, that when experience emptiness, ultimate reality, it has the experience as though like it is one with emptiness. It is one with emptiness. It is not, it is not separable from the emptiness. Is one with emptiness, is one with the thoroughly established nature. So therefore it is called as the thoroughly established nature, right? It is not the truly thoroughly established nature. An example of the second, which is the immutable, unchangeable, is a real nature of phenomena referring to the ultimate reality, emptiness. According to this text, the two selflessnesses. Although non-perverse, thoroughly established natures are stated as a division of thoroughly established natures, they actually are not thoroughly established natures. This is because they are not final objects of observation of a path of purification, which means a path of purification through observation of which obstructions are extinguished. So, according to this text, what is that meditation which can help us eliminate the obstacles? Obstacles in the sense of the two graspings. The grasping at the selfhood of persons and the self of phenomena. So that is meditating on the selflessnesses, the wisdom which understands the selflessness of persons and the selflessness of phenomena, that you can, through this meditation, you can help eliminate the two obscurations, So, the objects of observation of a path of purification through observation of which obstruction are extinguished constitutes the selflessness of persons and the selflessness of phenomena, So what is being said here is that in order for something to be thoroughly established nature, it must be one of these two selflessnesses, right? It must be one of these two selflessnesses. Now look, now you try to associate this with the selflessnesses, then you'll get the point. Although non-perverse, thoroughly established natures, referring to the wisdom, the superior wisdom during meditative equipoise, are stated as a division of thoroughly established natures, they actually are not thoroughly established natures. This is because, they are not the final objects of observation of the path of purification. What is the path of purification? The path of Arya beings, the meditative, non-dualistic, the paths which non-dualistically or which directly understands one of the two selflessnesses, right? The paths of the Arya beings. These are known as the path of purification, because it is because of these paths which sees the two selflessnesses directly that the purification happens, that the obscurations are eliminated, right? So, what is the object of the path of purification? One of these two selflessnesses, either the selflessness of person, and even meditating on the selflessness, or say, according to Chittamatra, right? Even meditating on impermanence is not sufficient to eliminate the obscurations. To eliminate the obscurations, one must meditate on one of these two selflessnesses, right? So, what is the object of observation of a path of purification? Anyone? Good. The selflessness of persons or the selflessness of phenomena. Now see, the superior's wisdom during meditative state is that the selflessness of phenomena or the selflessness of person? It's not. It's not. Because, the selflessness of person and selflessness of phenomena, these two belong to the category of thoroughly established nature. And the superior's wisdom during meditative equipoise belongs to the other power of nature. Right? Okay. So look, this is the whole complication, unnecessary complication. So I wish, this wisdom of the superior's being during meditative equipoise is not called as the thoroughly established phenomena. If that is not given that, if that is not called that way, then all these complications would have arisen, So better we not call anyone the Buddha, who is not real Buddha, Actually, this really happened to me. I was very small then. I was maybe say like very small, like say 12 years like that. And then there was someone a boy, elderly boy, by the name Sangye. Sangye means Buddha. So everyone was, and he was good in athletics. And everyone was talking highly, so that was the sports day. And everyone was talking highly of him. Oh, Sangye accomplished so much, He really won many of the sports. And I was really thinking about real Buddha, being a boy. Oh, that's something understandable, because if it is a Buddha, he can be he can be the winner in all these sports. And I was so curious to look for him. Then later when I saw him, he's just ordinary human being. Yeah, look. So this is a complication because of calling someone ordinary being a Buddha. Yeah. Okay. Then let's see. Again, page 150. Again, objects of knowledge can be divided into the two. Oh, this is a very important topic. We read it and then stop here. Again, objects of knowledge can be divided into two, conventional truths and ultimate truths. The definition of a conventional truth is an object formed by prime cognition that is the correct consciousness distinguishing a conventionality. Falsity, conventional truth, and nominal truth are mutually inclusive. Okay, we stop here.